we did tell you we're going to have the Deputy Communication Officer for the NDC, the Basintale boy, Malik Basintale. He's a regular on the channel as well as on 3FM 92.7. He's right here. And so we're having some chit-chat, but also ask him what his thoughts have been on the last election. And he's right here. The Basintale boy, how are you? It's been a while. We haven't met in about a week or 2 or 3.
Absolutely. We've been moving around trying to stop impunity.
Impunity?
Yeah, impunity. We've been moving around trying to ensure that the looters, the people who had mismanaged our economy, were booted out of office. We're convincing the Ghanaian people, we're selling our policies to them, we're exhibiting our manifesto to them, and we're giving them a better reason why they needed to have hope and trust in the nation builder, John Dramani Mahama. We laid before them his track record, and we demonstrated how Ghana was going to look like from 2015, from 2025, till somewhere 2028 and beyond. And I think that the Ghanaian people bought into whatever we had said, and they voted right for us. Before the election, Roland, you had a lot of people say, we won't hand over power to the NDC, we'll never hand over power to you. Many of them swore every oracle of the land that they were not going to hand over power. Power is here by the grace of God and the will of the Ghanaian people. I made a statement here on this platform that power has never been in the hands of any political party on the 7th of December. Our constitution is designed in such a way that by the 6th of December, power goes back into the hands of the Ghanaian people. The Ghanaian people then determine who they want to give power to. And so if Brian the Champon, together with all other people who were swearing oracles they were not going to hand over power, had checked their hands on the 7th of December, they would have realized that power had left their hands. And the Ghanaian people bestowed power in the hands of the NDC. I think it's time to forge on. I think it's time to get to work. We made so many promises. We made so many assurances. We had so many contracts with the Ghanaian people. And it's incumbent on us to exhibit that in a very solemn way so the NDC could stay in power forever. I believe strongly that John Mahama has come to rescue this country. I believe strongly that all our hopes that were shattered will begin to be revived. Go to town and check our streets. People are out there demonstrating, exhibiting their joy that a new dawn has arrived and that a new leader has come. And that leader is going to get us to the promised land. Look, for 8 years, Roland, we have suffered under excruciating poverty. 8 years we've been under hardships. 8 years, over 800,000 people have gone down the poverty lane. 8 years, over 1.8 million Ghanaian youth have stayed unemployed. 8 years, people have gone to work without hope. 8 years, inflation had skyrocketed to 54%. 8 years, all the government knew how to do was to borrow out of the roof. And Baumia would go out there, borrow recklessly to the extent that we are indebted to a tune of about 780 billion. Just yesterday, WAEC issued a statement that we're owing them and they were not going to release our resource. I looked in the skies and I said, all the monies we had borrowed, what were we using it for? All the revenues we had incurred, we had accrued in this economy, what were we using it for? Even WAEC, Baumia, you couldn't pay them. And then you come and stand before us and you say, Sisi, Fianeme, or Dominicane Bemau. And you think Ghanaians were going to vote for Dominicane Bemau. If you don't have money, how do you give Odoka? You need to work, make money, and then you can set the barricades and the barriers right. And so, Roland, I think that this election was a stop to impunity. This election was a stop to nepotism. This election was a stop to corruption. This election was a stop to, ineptitude. This election was a stop to family and friends. This election was a stop to, visionlessness and some government in power that clearly did not have direction and did not know what they were doing. This election was a total stop to incompetence, and is incumbent on us as a government to take us out of the woods and get us to the promised lands. I listened to, briefly, before I land, I listened to my very big brother, Kwesi Sapo, make a point that, look, politicians build here, build there, build here, and all of that. Look, the truth of the matter is that Ghanaians are not worried if you as a politician even buy 5,000 cars. Ghanaians are worried if you drive 5,000 cars and they stay in poverty. If Ghanaians are satisfied, if you make Ghanaians appreciate the work you are doing, you can even drive a private jet. Nobody cares. But if a Ghanaian youth goes to school for 22 years, the person graduates and they do not get a job, and you waste 14,000 pounds an hour flying a private jet, you think they're going to take that nonsense? Every Ghanaian youth is going to fight against it. But if you make people work, people have good salaries, people make mama and dada proud, nurses are posted, teachers are posted, I complete the university and I can get a job under the 24-hour economy. If you want, go and buy a jet ski. If you want to buy a ship, Ghanaians will say, you have done for us, you can do for yourself. But if you keep doing for yourself and you don't do for us, we'll rise against you.
Then that's where the concern.
Absolutely.
Well, so after all this talk, now you've been elected into public office. So that's the party.
That's right.
Going to form the government.
That's right. And
already over the last 2 days, which subsequently led to the intervention of the former president and then President-elect John Dramani Mahama, calling on NDC youth and then young people who may be in the mix of those on rampage, entering public offices, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. It shouldn't happen, should it?
You see, the truth of the matter is that I've heard a lot of people say Operation Return All the Loot has begun, and so people are barging into offices.
Is that what has begun? Malik Basintale.
Roland, we are not going to retrieve stolen cash by using same method as quick credits. Operation Return All the Loot is not some savings and loans company where we go into the night throwing stones at your zinc to pay, all the monies you have stolen. If people care to know, a lot of the monies that have been stolen by this current government have been transformed into digital money. If they don't know, people do no longer steal cash and stock it in the house. They steal the money and they save it in safe havens. People have stored it in cryptocurrencies and what have you. And so if you batch into somebody's office or you batch into somebody's house, how do you retrieve monies that have been stolen and put on cryptocurrency? It's not possible.
What's your point?
So money itself does not like noise. They say sikam pedede. We are going to use silent means to retrieve the cash. This morning I had a call that people were going to the Tema port. And so that's why I was late. I had to ride my bike to see them. I got there and none of them is an NDC person. None. There are people under this current administration who are angry with their leaders. There are young men under this administration who are angry with their leaders, and they've been writing on Facebook that our leaders were spending the monies and this defeat serves us right and all of that. Many of such people have decided to confront their leaders and also get their little monies back before they leave office. And when I got there, not a single person. On TV3's website, you posted a video of Owutu Senya West, where the young men, the NDC men, intercepted, they went and arrested people who were looting from an Agenda 111 project. All the people who were arrested were MPP. Yet people are attributing all the budgets and all of that to the NDC. It's not true. The NDC guys have decided to start arresting some of the people who are batching into offices and all of that. And clearly, what happened in Owutu Senya West demonstrates to all of us
it's not that
a lot of people...
It's not the duty of NDC young people to go arresting people just because those people decide to barge into, possibly enter
we would do that.
Into government warehouse, etc.
We would do that because
that should not be
the Owutu Senya West case, if you listen to the guy, he said he had informed the police commander of the people. They can play the video and said the police commander should go and arrest them. And the commander told him that they should go and initiate a citizen arrest. And so they went there and they arrested the people. Because, they are tarnishing the image of the NDC. Your young men get up there and then they go to storm an office and they attack people and all of that. And people think they are NDC young guys. These are MPP persons who are angry with their leaders and have decided to attack their own leaders. What happened in the Owutu Senya West? Your journalists were there. They videoed everything. Our people decided to stop them and prove to the entire country that no NDC young man has gone out there to attack anybody. The MPP guys are those attacking their leaders because they feel their leaders had done chop, their leaders had abandoned them, and they had been suffering for 8 years. It is not easy to get 1.6 million votes in an election. It means that many MPP persons who were fed up with their own government voted for us. You know that. floating voters, the NDC together with some MPP people. And so many MPP guys are angry with their own leaders. And Roland, I tell you on record,
I've asked you the question. The question is, why should we have the NDC youth being the ones to go and stop so-called MPP youth, if that is the case, to stop them from looting or perhaps even forcibly entering to take, whether it's fertilizer? Because there was an incident in Ho.
That's right.
NDC young people and then some of the leaders said they were stopping
the MPP guys from looting,
from taking fertilizer, etc.
Absolutely.
I'm saying, why don't you go report to the police?
Because it is not wrong in this country to initiate a citizen arrest. If I'm sitting in my house and a thief comes to steal your motorbike, I cannot sit down and say he should take the motorbike away, so I report. If I can arrest him in a lawful manner, I will do so. And the reason why a lot of our guys have decided to arrest the MPP guys who are now looting and batching into offices and pretending to be NDC guys is because we want to set the record straight that these are not NDC guys. Those batching into offices, those attacking public officials are MPP guys who are peeved and aggrieved with their own leadership. And so President Mahama has called for calm. He's asked all NDC guys, if you have some few who are part of the NDC people, the MPP guys, to drop their weapons. And we are also asking President Akufo-Addo, you are in office. You are still president of the country till the 7th of January. It's time for you to call your men to order. If they are angry with their leadership, settle your issues at your party office. Don't settle your issues at public institutions where you let your boys go there and attack people and all of that. Look, we saw what happened in 2017. These same MPP tax who are attacking officers even went into a courtroom, dragged out a pregnant judge and beat her in Kumasi. Roll, I remember. These same MPP guys batched into public offices. John Dumelo's Land Cruiser was vandalized. Now we have come into office. And you think you can still continue attacking public offices, so people think it's the NDC. We will stop it, and we have reported.
Malik, you haven't come into office yet. The NDC administration
we've won an election.
Will be inaugurated on the 7th.
Yes, but we've won an election
before a parliament.
We've won an election, and we will not allow anyone to tarnish the image of the NDC like these same guys did in 2017 by attacking public officials. So we've reported to the police, and we've told them that they should arrest the MPP guys who are ransacking offices and who are batching into offices and tarnishing the image of the NDC. They should arrest them because the Operation Return All the Loot is going to be a very silent, creepy method of retrieving the stolen monies. For example, Baumia's 10,000 bags of rice saga at the port, Lily Rice, where 10,000 bags of rice were stolen by somebody from his office. The case is in court. As it stands now, if you go to Baumia's house, you won't get a single bag of that Lily Rice. A lot of it has been shared. A lot of it has been eaten. So if you barge into Baumia's house, are you going to remove the Lily Rice from his stomach? So in order to retrieve that 10,000 bags of stolen rice by Baumia in his office, you need to use appropriate means and let them cough the money out. PDS scandal, where Baumia presented fraudulent documents. If you barge into Baumia's house, are you going to retrieve those documents from his house because you've barged into his house? But now Baumia has even hidden all those documents. So such person, you put him in the witness box and we'll find appropriate means of retrieving them. A merry deal. When Baumia and Akufo-Addo sat down to, balloon the figure to 1.3 billion. If you batch into Baumia's house, how are you going to retrieve 1.3 billion? It was stopped, but he needs to stand trial for it. So batching into people's houses and offices will not retrieve stolen cash. There are measures we are going to take, and those measures are going to bring back all the monies. And we have said that Mr. Akufo-Addo, Baumia, together with all the corrupt appointees, my brother Chinia in Sisala East, who lost his seat. I sat here and I told you how they had stolen state lands. Chinia, absolutely. If you batch into his house, how are you going to retrieve the state lands?
No, we'll talk about
so it's not possible, you get it. So there are appropriate measures we're going to use to retrieve all the stolen cash and not this ransom.
Malik Basintale, during the run-up to the election, you were on motorbikes, you were crisscrossing the country on campaign platforms, etc. What did the young people that you met on those campaign platforms tell you were their concerns that needed to be immediately tackled by the president-elect's government, the NDC administration that's coming in?
One, a lot of the young people said they needed jobs. Two, the young people said they needed better living conditions. Three, a lot of the young people said they needed security and a safe environment to operate. And four, a lot of the young people said all they wanted was a brighter future. I visited nursing trainees, and all they said was that they see their seniors who had completed more than 4 years ago still seated at home. And so even they who are completing in about 2 months' time, they don't know what the future holds for them. Are they coming to add on to the backlog of 4 years and wait for the 4-year group to be posted before they are posted, or are they going to be posted immediately? And so all those nursing trainees asked to be posted when they complete from school. The teachers I met, our teacher trainees, also said they needed to be posted when they complete from school. University students I met said they have been in school for 22 years, ever since they were born. They don't want to complete and come and sit in their house. They want to complete and get jobs. And so President Mahama said, I will meet you halfway. I'll provide a 24-hour economy to industries so they would operate at 24 hours and then recruit more people. In the last 4 days, TV3, you have been running 24 hours. You know, so TV3 has been running 24 hours. I salute all of you. It means that a 24-hour economy is the future. And you people have been running at shift. This one comes in the morning.
But we've been doing that since time immemorial.
Absolutely. No, but
that's been our routine.
You are working now full 24 hours. Where even
we've always worked 24 hours. Yes. Only that we're now doing the Ghana Decides election.
Hold on. Yesterday at 11, 12 p.m. there was a panel in the studio, right?
Yeah, but that's not going to continue forever.
That's true.
That's true. But it's for the election.
So absolutely.
It's a special coverage.
But other companies are going to go into full 24 hours now, right? I'm only saying this for you to understand that a 24-hour economy is possible. And it has been possible in the last 4 days at TV3. Whether you decide to continue it or you don't continue it, but it has been made possible in TV3. Is that not the point? And so we think that the 24-hour economy is the new future, and Ghanaian youth are going to get jobs and people are going to get employed. In our campaign, we had the first 120-day manifesto. If you remember, President Mahama had put across many promises and said he was going to achieve some within 120 days. I am pleading on the Ghanaian people. In order for us to start marking President Mahama, let's start with his 120-day social contract. President Mahama said, I would appoint the leanest government. When appointments start, if President Mahama should appoint 61 ministers, then you can come at him. He said, I will do 60 ministers. That will be the first check. Number 2, President Mahama says within 2 weeks, 14 days, I'll be done with appointments of my cabinet. Take your pen and paper, check it. President Mahama says within 120 days, I'll scrap the Burton tax, I'll scrap e-levy, I'll scrap the emission levy, and many other, unnecessary taxes. Once we do that, check it. And so there are many promises we are done within 120 days that I think the Ghanaian people should take their papers and they should start checking. Once we do it, it means President Mahama is truthful. Once we do it, he's truthful, and that's the future of this country.
Indeed, on the campaign platform, you on your motorbike, even in the rains, was a sight to behold. It looks like the issue of the Burton tax and then the e-levy are very dear to the heart of young people, especially those who are investing in cryptos, those who tend to do a lot of work electronically, right, etc. Why should that be an immediate assignment within the 120 days?
I mean, because...
And how did that resonate with the feedback you got on the campaign platforms?
It's important we do that within 120 days because it was a matter of high interest to the Ghanaian youth. We listened to them. Our manifesto was a people's manifesto. We didn't sit in a room or a kitchen to draft our manifesto. You remember that some of the promises Baumia made did not resonate with the Ghanaian youth. Said, we'll give you iPhone, you pay 1 cedi, 2 cedi, 1 cedi, 2 cedi. The Ghanaian youth said that was not what we wanted. And so we listened to the Ghanaian people and we understood what they wanted. The Ghanaian people said, clear the 10% bed tax. It is unnecessary. We said, we'll do it for you. The Ghanaian people said, COVID levy. We are out of COVID. Why is the levy still on our cost build-up? We said, we'll do it for you. The Ghanaian people said, take away the emission levy. We said, we'll do it for you. And so we think that issues that are of high interest and issues the Ghanaian people had asked us to do, of which we agreed we're going to do, ought to be followed and ought to be complied with. And that is what builds a very good, trustworthy economy. And that's what makes the Ghanaian people have full confidence in you. If you say one thing and you do another, you break your government. If you say it and you do it, the Ghanaian people appreciate what you've done. Because, we're going to run this country with a manifesto. And everything we're going to be reading, our budget statements, are going to come from promises and assurances we made from our manifesto. So we have the Jumapa. President Mahamat stated that within 120 days, it will reflect in our first budget. That makes sense to the Ghanaian people. And Ghanaians are going to mark us based on our manifesto promises. I mean, along the line, there could be new things that we would be confronted with that we need to, address, even though it may not be in our manifesto. Those are excesses. Those are things we could tackle. But on a straight road, we should go with our manifesto and we should do as it says.
You've taken upon yourself, right from the campaign up to today, Operation Recover or Loot. Why have you made it a personal mantra and a battle? Why don't you leave it to the government?
First of all, Roland, I hate corruption. Not just corruption, but causing high financial loss to the states. I believe that corrupt money could be used to do a lot for this country. $58 million was used to sink a hole. $58 million could have provided a school for people in Salganov. It could have completed the E-block in Salganov. It could have provided a clinic for the people in Boko. It could have provided a hospital for the people in the Savannah region. That's so much of money to be used just to sink a hole. That has become the world's most expensive hole. An architect who just drew the plan, of course, that shouldn't have even taken more than 10 million, was paid 125 million within 1 week after completion. Yet, our renal unit needed only 2 million. The government said they didn't have money. We lost more than 5 people as a result of that. Old men who had lived responsible lives, stored their monies in bonds, and wanted to enjoy in retirement. Their monies were restructured. The CEO of the Karma Group said he had become an irresponsible man, all because he couldn't get access to his pensions. Yet, huge sums of monies have gone down the drains in corruption. £14,000 an hour was used to fly a private jet around in this country. Our president was bathing and whining and dining in the sky when people were suffering, people were struggling. The National Cathedral, same National Cathedral, that is still a hole, has a CEO that is being paid a gross salary of 28,000 Ghana cedis every month. It has a board that is being paid 22,000 Ghana cedis every month. A hole. CEO of Keta Port. The Keta Port is just a signboard. Yet Mr. Akufo-Addo has appointed a CEO who takes a salary every month. The Bank of Ghana wasted over 77 billion, just printed, without recourse to law, without taking it to parliament, and with so many breaches. At the end of the day, that money was recklessly spent in the economy. You know what it did against the Ghanaian people? It caused hyperinflation in this country because the top level had so much money, there was so much money in the system, but the people of the middle class and the lower level did not have access to that money. So the inflation was hitting our heads. With our mega salary, we couldn't buy anything again. And so, Roland, corruption is a canker. And all Ghanaian people stand against corruption, no matter how it looks like. And I felt that, look, of all the works we have done, if we don't fight corruption, we'll move forward and move backwards. And so, we cannot also let all the monies that have been stolen go down the drains. If that happens, every government will come, steal money, go out of office. The next government will come, steal money, go out of office. If we don't institute accountability, where people stand accountable for all the monies they have stolen, future governments will come, spend the monies, and they will leave office.
You seem to be very passionate about it.
I'm very passionate because I know that if we retrieve $58 million that was used to sink a hole, we'll be able to build schools, we'll be able to build hospitals, we'll be able to build roads, and we'll be able to create jobs for the Ghanaian youth. I'm very passionate because I know that if we're able to retrieve all the stolen and earned salaries that we paid, all the cash, the monies, including state lands and properties, if we're able to retrieve all that, we'll be able to do a lot for the people of this country. Government lands have been shared like granules. Today, I know a woman, look, and this is a very sad story. A woman was living in a government bungalow in Tamale. She works in a government institution. One day she came back from work and they had poured a trip of sand on her yard. And she said, what is happening here? Then somebody appears and says, the land belongs to me together with your house. So you need to leave the house within the next 1 week because I want to bring the house down and build my building. A woman in Tamale staying in a government bungalow. That bungalow was sold together with the land. Why will you do this to your fellow human being? Why will you do this to a government official who is living in a government bungalow, all because you are quick to share things? Just 3 days ago, when the government lost the election, they decided to start auctioning vehicles. I have a whole list of government vehicles that have been quickly auctioned to people.
Already?
Already. I have a list on my phone. They've been valued. They've been auctioned, a Toyota Prado, to more than 50 vehicles. Quickly auctioned to family and friends. They'll be retrieved. Because you cannot quickly auction people's cars to people and just allow it go down the drains. Look, in this country, today you import goods, and even before it hits them rich, they are already on your neck because they want to seize your goods and auction it to their own people. Why do you do this to Ghanaians? Why do you do this to innocent importers who bring their commodities into this country and want to sell and make a living? And so, this government has been wicked to the Ghanaian people, no matter how you look at it. They have stolen, they have mismanaged the economy, they've led us into a ditch, and they still have the effrontery to still speak and tease us in our faces. And then you come before us again and you come to joke with us and think, Ghanaians, we're going to forgive you for all the things you were doing. And so, Roland, Operation Return All the Loot, I'm passionate about it. I feel people must be held accountable, and not just persons from the MPP, but even persons from the NDC who decide to misappropriate funds. If President Mahama appoints you, and let me sound that caution, and you come into office and you loot, we will bring you out of your office and hold you accountable. We will let the laws deal with you. President Mahama has said it, and we'll rehash it. This is not a man who is going to tolerate a single iota of corruption under his government. President Mahama will never be called the mother serpent of corruption. He's going to fight corruption, he's going to face it head on, and he's demonstrated that before, and he will repeat it. If you know you are coming to work under President Mahama's administration, and the intention is to come and loot, create loot and share, then please, you better wait. That administration has passed. It's about leaving office. You better wait for maybe after 50 years, when some of President Mahama and the NDC government, maybe we are tired of governance, then you can come and start looting. But if you think you can come and loot under President Mahama's administration, then forget it. Because if you joke, Oral will deal with you like it's going to deal with the MPP appointees. It will deal with you, and yours will be worse, because we need to use you to set an example to the Ghanaian people that John Mahama is coming to develop the country, John Mahama is coming to progress the economy, John Mahama is coming to transform Ghana, and John Mahama is the man going to take us to the promised land, because he's the chosen one by the Most High God.
You seem to have put a lot of responsibility on yourself.
Yes.
Okay. It also means that you know the internet never forgets.
That's right.
Okay. So if there should be a scandal on you in government, what do you think will happen? Oral
should take its course. If there should be any scandal on me in government, Oral should take its course. I'm not above the law. If anyone should try, then if you are not investigated, you cannot be vindicated. President Mahama for 4 years, President Mahama for 8 years, out of office, was standing trial. This government took him into the witness box. They tried him for a very wasteful Airbus scandal, tried him for this, tried him for that. At a point I said, sir, you can't allow these people to be misusing you carelessly. He said, no, I need to stand trial. I need to prove to the Ghanaian people that I'm innocent. I need to prove to them that I, John Dramani Mahama, I have never been corrupt and I'll never be corrupt. He was vindicated. At the end of the day, all crimes that were leveled against him, he was vindicated. President Mahama became a hero and was celebrated in this country. And so if anybody should come out from anywhere to say, Malik Basintale is corrupt, Malik is this, and they say I should stand trial, I would come and stand trial. If you investigate me and I'm vindicated, fine, because I know in my heart that I'll be clean, and I know John Mahama's administration would be pure and clean, because we are coming to work, we are coming to do what we promised, we are coming to take us to a next level, and we are coming to work for the youth of this country. And so, Roland, even you, if tomorrow they say you are corrupt, you will stand trial, you know that. If they say your cameramen are corrupt, you will stand trial. You agree that if they say you are corrupt, Oral should take his course on you too. Do you agree?
Of course.
Absolutely. So we are on the same page.
You seem to have had a knack during the campaign to have endeared yourself to young people. and that also reflected in the following you got. So I witnessed a certain pattern where the top or some MPs or some constituencies, the campaign was a bit weak. You went there for reinforcement.
That's right.
Why did you seem to have targeted Chinia?
Chinia was not a target. It was not a direct target.
I'm asking this because you even, apart from having a face-off with him on television,
that's right,
I think 2 or 3 times right here in Accra,
yes,
you even traced him to his constituency to go and campaign for the NDC candidate.
That's right.
Subsequently, he lost his seat.
That's right.
That's why I'm asking, why is that you seem to have targeted Chinia?
He wasn't a direct target. Corruption was my target, not Chinia. And so if Chinia was shredded in corruption, then he also became a target. Anyone who had done something corrupt was a first target because we needed to sanitize the system. So Pius Majide, in the Austria saga, I went to his place twice. And I told the people, he was now promising to even take people to US. You, Austria saga, we haven't finished dealing with you. You are now promising to take people to US. And you think such people should be in parliament. So we needed to go there, boot him out. Chinia, government lands in your own hometown. You have bought it, you are putting up a filling station, bought another government land, you are putting up a radio station. And so if President Mahama today wants to build a hospital, it means that we need to go and buy a private land. Do you know that? Because Chinia has taken all the government lands there. So we needed to go there to boot him out. Then we retrieve all the lands. And so he wasn't a target for me, even though he made so many comments. He said, President Mahama and myself and everybody could come there, he would defeat all of us. I said, President Mahama did not need to come there.
How did you engineer Operation Boot Out Chinia in the campaign?
Oh, the people knew the crimes he had committed. The people knew that for 8 years he was smuggling fertilizer. And they knew that he was smuggling it on the back of donkeys. And the people said, we have suffered. 4 months to election, because Ibrahim Traoré had put a ban to the importation of fertilizer into his country, they now decided to bring the fertilizer back and started sharing it to farmers. And the farmers asked him, for 8 years, you haven't given us fertilizer. 4 months to election, you are bringing fertilizer thinking that we're going to vote for you. Oh, so we'll vote against you. I went to his community and his school in one of his major towns, needed only 50 chairs, 50 desks, 50. The community is called Chalu. You can call them and ask them, Chalu. 50 desks.
Chalu community.
Chalu community. They needed 50 desks. Chinia couldn't provide for them as an MP. When I got there, the people told me, I just did an appeal for fun. Called few people and said, I beg you, help the people of Chalu. There and then, we provided 50 desks to the people of Chalu. We said it on live TV, my integrity on the line. And so it was so sad that you come to Accra, you see him on TV, President Mahama has bought this, he has done this, shouting, and you can't provide 50 desks to your people in Chalu, and you think you should still be an MP. You know, they work like that. And so, Roland, I went to many communities where I felt that we needed to win the seats. In other communities where we had MPs, I just needed to go there. I mean, we needed to give them reassurance that the MPs were good. And many people said...
Because I was just about to talk about Sojaman.
Absolutely.
You went there for reinforcement.
I went to Sojaman because I needed to let the people understand why Mr. Thomas Ampem was the best for them and why they couldn't sell their color TV for black and white. And when I got there, the people themselves told me that the man goes around, Pius goes around promising visas. Goes around, will take you to America, take you to this. The people said their aim is not to go to America. Their aim is to get jobs and work in their country. Who does not want to be in his motherland? I've had many calls of people in America telling me, Malik, now President Mahama has come, we'll come back home and work. Now Ghana is a safe place to work. Everybody wants to work in his motherland. It's because times are hard and things are not well. That's why people always want to flee the country. And so if your major campaign promise is I'll take you to America, meanwhile, you are the CEO of YE, the highest employment agency of the land, and you cannot employ your people, and you are promising to take them to US, and you think people will just buy into such weak promises. And so it wasn't because Malik went there, it's because the people are discerning, and the people knew what was right, and they knew who they wanted to give power to, and they retained the very venerable, intelligent, highly competent, Honorable Thomas Ampem. They retained him, and Sisala is voted for a strong man, Mohamed Bataglia, who they believe is going to transform the fortunes of the economy, together with all other constituencies. You see the tsunami that happened. They voted against MPs, people who talk recklessly. You see, we've gone beyond a certain level of politics. With the greatest of respect to Mr. Katie Hammond, I watched him so many times on platforms, speaking to his people. And you are joking with people who are struggling. The people ask you what you've done for them, you insult this person. You see, Ghanaians, we've gone beyond some level of politics. The youth of this country are not interested in jokes. So they want jobs. They want better future, brighter futures. Everybody wants to live good. So if you think people are struggling, come and stand and say, you're coconut head, you're this, and you are joking, and you think they'll vote for you because of that. We are discerning. Look, Eslewusu, people shouting, pomposity, the arrogance was too much. She's down, flat. My very good friend in Japan Mesa, talking as if the world belongs to them. To some level of, please. Today you are down, flat. The whole western region, there was a tsunami. Upper East cleared all the seats. Upper West, 11-11. Many big people who we never thought were going to lose their seats. Anodon Pre and Sawama Doajere talks as if he was one of the people who said, "Who hand over power?" He said, "Don't hand over power today. Don't hand over power tomorrow." They swear everything. Look, when I watched some of the MPP guys, and you see, Roland, let me just add this. We are discussing post-election, but let's address some of the pre-election issues. I watched some MPP guys have the effrontery to say, if NDC wins, I'll ban myself.
That's Benjamin Jawaka.
Oh my goodness.
You know him, right?
I know him. I saw a young man. I'm a young man. But you don't some put their testicles on the line. Somebody said if NDC wins, we should castrate them. I saw a pastor who said if NDC wins, ban my church. Hey, power that belongs to Ghanaian people, you are talking as if the power is in your hands.
What?
Power that belongs to the Ghanaian people, you are talking as if it's in your hands. Hey, we should burn your church. So today, if NDC guys should go to the church and burn it down, people will say NDC is on rampage. But he said it. It's a pronouncement he made. I watched a certain video, the man said, castrate me. So today, if Basintale, I catch him and I put plier on the testes and I castrate him. Roland, you come and sit here and say, Basintale is wicked. But he said we should
I will say that, yes.
He said we should
I said that you've taken the law into your hands.
But he said it. He said we should castrate him. People put their things. I don't know. Some people said if it wins, you don't do that. When you know that you don't have absolute control of the power, you are talking as if you are in the minds of over 30 million Ghanaians. And you say, somebody says, if it happens, shoot me. If NDC wins, kill me. Hey, my brother, pre-election commentary is dangerous. You must be careful with some of the things you say. Somebody swore, even Mr. Akufo-Addo, he said he will never hand over power to John Mahama. Hey, Mr. Akufo-Addo, sir, President Mahama is president today. By the will of over the 30 million Ghanaians have taken the decision. He defeated Bawumia by 1.6. Who will you hand over power to? Let me ask him now. He congratulated President Mahama. I thought he said he will never hand over power again to President Mahama. Look, let's be mindful with the comments we make. Bernard Champon, you attempted plunging this country into chaos. If today, Rock City, people attack it, what will you do? We must be careful.
But that should not be that.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. We must be careful. I know don't pray. You are shouting. We won't give you power. Today, even you have lost. When I watched his video leaving the room, he had just grown lean all of a sudden. I said the downfall of a man is terrible, you know. But let's all be humble in a lot of things we do. And let's respect the Ghanaian people. Ghanaians are discerning people. We can't continue to feel that pompous and arrogant. Roland.
During the campaign, what was with the bike? When did you start riding bikes and using it as a means of transport in campaigns and events?
You see, the truth of the matter is that I love to ride. But I also realize that we can't, if you do the same thing, same way all the time, you can't get different results. So we needed to use another approach. Many people see riders as being criminals. Many people think that once somebody's on a bike, it means the person is a suspicious person. But no. Riding makes us get to our locations fast. Today, I came on a motor, you know it. I came on a bike. I came on a bike because I had to rush to go and check the boys who were going to attack the harbor to confirm if they were NDC guys, and I realized they were MPP guys. And then I realized that my time will not permit me to get here on time. So I had to use the bike quickly to get here. Am I a criminal? I'm not. There are many people who ride out there. If you go to the US, there are very rich guys who ride. Look, Mr. Ibrahim Mahama, he likes to ride. Even President Mahama.
He has some of the fiercest bikes.
Yes, even President Mahama loves to ride. Many people in this country.
They call them bikers.
Yeah, we are bikers. So if you see somebody riding, it doesn't make the person a criminal. The only reason why sometimes there are people do not like people who ride is because some go overboard. They break the windscreen of a driver, and sometimes,
They use it for petty thievery.
absolutely petty thievery because it's quick to escape and all of that. But if we regulate Okada, we will be able to know everybody's number plates. And if you are caught without a number plate, you'll be picked up. If we regulate Okada, we'll be able to know that, look, this person, if he hits your windscreen, just take the number on his car, like it's done with vehicles, and they'll be able to arrest him. And that is why President Mahama said, we will regulate Okada, we'll legalize it, and ensure that no Okada rider destroys any car. Because you see, riding is not a crime in this country. Biking is not a crime. If I ride my motor and I pick even 2 people or 1 person, it's not a crime. You get my point. If I pick somebody, it's not a crime. The only crime is for commercial use. And so whether President Mahama regularizes Okada or not, riding will still be there. Those armed robbers will still use motors to rob. So why don't we regularize it so that we can manage it? So that if somebody even uses a motor to go and steal, we can easily arrest the person. That's the wisdom in that policy.
And that followed subsequently the tricycles being named Mahama Kambu and the rest.
Absolutely.
It was used as a political dig where it was used to mock that policy proposition, etc. How will regularization also enable that the various strata within our demographics, those who can't afford transport, those who love to use it, that would ensure this regularization? You
see, we must have, no matter what, must have different means of transports. We've gone by water, gone by through the air, people go by cars, people go by motors. In fact, there are even countries where people go with horses. They tie a horse cart to it, and you sit on it, and then you get to your destination.
That's true.
So people even use the cart, they hold it. In China, for example, then they run with it and they get you to your destination. People use different means depending on your budget. So all you need to do is to regulate it. And then maybe, if possible, you could even give them their own paths. That look, instead of going through the city, inner city, you could use the outer city to get to your destination so that we do not cause a congested environment there. And that is why, if you remember in 2016, President Mahama was doing so many alternative routes so that we could, I can get to Accra without using 37. You get the point. I can get to Accra.
The bus rapid transit
Absolutely,
system.
the BRT system, Ayalolo and all of that.
Grounded, yeah.
They all had their own paths they were using. And so if we have a proper transport system, I think there will be a free flow of traffic and everybody could get to his destination well. I'm looking forward to a future where even people in Tema will go by train. You understand? You don't need to go by bus. It will decongest the motorway. You stand at Jamestown and you go by train. In fact, in the near future, we could even go by ferries. So you go to Jamestown. Absolutely, you get to Jamestown, you park your vehicle there, and then you use it to other towns, to Keta and the rest, to the Volta region. Akosombo, even Takrade. We must get to that future where people use ferries. And out abroad, people travel with ferries and all of that. We cross even some of our bridges. You go to Dambai, you cross with a ferry. So why can't we use the same ferry system to decongest? And it carries a lot of people. So the train system, the ferry system, and other alternative land means of transport must all be utilized. I think it will decongest traffic on
Basintale boy, you seem to have earned a reputation of being a very feisty figure. What in your upbringing has gotten you fired up like this?
I mean, we grew up the hard way. And no matter, I wouldn't say I was born into a poor family. I mean, I was born into an average family. But my parents will always let you achieve for yourself what you ought to achieve. They would push you to do it. And so we had always been go-getters. We get it, the tax is set for you and you've got to achieve it. And that's how we grew up. And so growing up in the North, I think that the whole community, you've got to struggle for survival. And that's what brought us up. And that is why I love to stand for people. Because growing up, one of the things that we hated was cheating. And growing up, all those who knew me, even from my days at Prempeh College, would tell you that I was always against cheating. I'd fight for people I'll fight for the needy, I'll fight for the less privileged, and I'll fight for people who are going to be cheated. In my year group, I fought for even some genius against my own colleagues because I said I don't see why.
In secondary school?
Absolutely, you should even bully people. I don't see why you should attack people. I don't see why you should punish people recklessly and all of that. And I always stood for them. And it had been my orientation that let's live in a fair environment. Let's all strive to achieve. Let's have a very fair competition. You understand? We could all achieve. There's enough room for everybody in this world. Go your path, let me go my path. Would finally meet at a destination and would all say Alhamdulillah. And that is how we had all been brought up. And so if you see me today standing for people, standing for the youth and all of that, is because that is my orientation. I believe that no one should be cheated. I believe that let's get equal opportunities. I believe that everybody must stand out, and I believe that everybody must move forward. Let's leave no soldier behind.
Before Prempeh, where did you grow up? What was your upbringing like?
I mean,
do you remember the areas in Tamale that you used to play, the school you went?
Oh, I was in Tamale. I was in Tamale International, and I mean, I grew up in Kuku, Ganasco Cortes.
That's a very popular place.
Absolutely, Kuku, Ganasco Cortes, and we always mingled with everybody around there. It was exciting, Roland, and I think that many of the things I learned growing up are things that we are enforcing and implementing today, because you grow up, you are taught to be humble, you are taught to respect the elderly, you are taught to fight for what is right, and you see, and always ensure that what is right stands and the truth stands. If the truth is on your side, no one can be against you. And so when I was even going to choose a political party I wanted to join, I looked for a political party that is truthful, a political party that's honest. And when I was going to campaign for a president this year, I chose a man that was truthful, a man that was honest. I knew that it was President Mohammed's track record that was going to make me speak the truth anytime I'm on platforms. Because I can't come on TV and imagine we're campaigning for the MPP. Then I say, oh, the country is good, the country is interesting. I'll be a liar. I mean, I'll just be insulting people. I can't come on TV and when they've not paid contractors, I say, we've paid all the contractors. No. But I can come on TV and say, we built E-blocks. That is a fact. I can come on TV and say, we built hospitals. Because we built the Bank of Ghana Hospital, we expanded the Ridge Hospital, expanded the Tamale Hospital. That's a fact. I can come on TV and say, we built airports. Because Terminal 3 is there, Kumasi International Airport, Tamale International. So I needed to stand with the truth. And that is why I chose to join the NDC, and I chose to campaign for the nation builder, President Mahama. And I will always stand for the truth and stand for what is right.
So from Prempeh, then you went to which other university? University of Ghana?
Yes.
So that's where you got affiliated to student politics and the NDC?
Absolutely.
Why did you choose the NDC?
Because it was a party that was truthful. It was the
at the University of Ghana?
Absolutely, and it was a party that respected all manner of persons. Look, come to think of it, out of 16 regions, we won in 13. It's not easy for a political party to be diversified in that manner. 13 regions. It should tell you that we stand for everybody. In the Ashanti region, where I mean is purported to be the stronghold of the MPP, we swept a lot of votes. It means that the people love us there. In the Eastern region, we swept a lot of votes. It means the people love us there. Why is it that in the Upper East region, MPP could even win 1 seat? Upper West, they couldn't win 1 seat. Bono East, not 1 seat. In fact, Savannah, currently there's a seat under contention, but they couldn't even win, seats there. So it should tell you that the MPP is not a diversified party. The NDC is diversified. Look, even in our flag bearers, we've had President Mills, who was a Fante. We've had Rollins, J.J. Rollins, who was a Voltairean. We've had John Mahama, who is a Northerner. Our running mates, we've had Prof. Jane, who is an Akan, of course, relatively. And we have chosen people from all walks of life. And so when I was growing up, I wanted a party that respected all manner of persons. A party that respected Voltaireans, a party that respected Northerners, a party that respected Akans, a party that respected everybody and could give everybody an opportunity. Look, in my party, I'm very young. But my party has respected the fact that the future of this country is the youth. And my party has given me, and not just me, together with other young people, an opportunity. Look, Sami Jemfi is given an opportunity. You have Eda Magbana, you have Osman Ayerga, you have Elekem Kotoko, many young people. And the young ladies, you have Naache, you have Majuan Song, you have Louisa, you have Beatrice Anan, these are young people. I mean, Shamima, Muslim, these are young people, relatively, who have been given the opportunity, same as opportunities were given to the Joyce Bowers, the John Jenapo, all those people. So the NDC would recognize your potential, it will give you an opportunity, and moving forward, I'm telling you on record that the only youthful party we'll have in this country will be the NDC. Because all the up-and-coming youths are going to join the NDC because they find light in it. They won't join the NPP. Look, you've been in power for 8 years. Take a look at the caliber of ministers that are in the NPP. I mean, even the elderly know that at a point in time, the young people should take over, no matter what. One day, I was called by Professor Hoy, and Professor Hoy said, Malik, you people are the next generation of the party. We have done our bits. We'll continue to advise. But at this time, imagine Professor Hoy fighting for a ministerial position. Do you get my point? But you have people like Professor Hoy in the NPP who were still ministers and fighting for ministerial appointments. But Prof thinks that, look, I should sit down and advise you people. When you people work, I'll guide you little by little till the time ends. But you still have same people in the NPP who do not even want to give the younger ones in the NPP an opportunity to also rise. In my party, it is not so. In my party, the elderly ones want to sit down, they want to give the younger ones an opportunity, and they want to guide you. And that is what has made us the National Democratic Congress in this country. On the
platform of our streams, and this one I pick from Facebook, Jessica DeWitty says, please remind Basintale that our certificate of survival, how far? When you say certificate of survival, those watching want to know, what is it?
It's a certificate of honor. Okay. It's to honor you for staying alive. Many didn't stay alive. Some committed suicide as a result of the hardships they were going through under this economy. Some died as a result of the closure of the renal unit. Some died because their debts and bonds were restructured. Some died because their securities were locked up in banks. Some died because of the collapse of banks. Some had to flee the country because things were hard. I met a young man in Dubai who told me he was working in the bank. And simply because Mr. Akufo-Addo and the NPP had collapsed all the banks, he had to go there for greener pastures. Roland, we must honor the young men and women who stayed under this economy for 8 years. I think that in the coming days, you have to invite many of them here. Ask them how they did it. It hasn't been an easy journey. And so when we speak about a certificate of survival, it's a certificate of honor. We may not be able to distribute certificates to 30 million or all the youth of this country, but we would send, we've already done a soft copy, we would send around. When you wake up in the morning, look at it and thank God that you stayed alive for 8 years under these unbearable hardships. On the 9th, after the swearing in on the 7th, we are thinking of getting a few ones and then distributing to people. It's a certificate of honor. You can frame it.
You mean symbolic?
Absolutely. Okay. You can just put it in your room. When you wake up, then you look at it and remember the very hard regime of Akufo-Addo and Bawumia.
How many constituencies did you go to?
Never again. I visited over 204 constituencies. I ended my campaign in Kwesi Mintim.
You visited over 200?
Over 200. I did 206, to be exact, because I hit 204 in Shama. And from Shama...
And Shama fell too?
And Shama, so I ended my campaign in Kwesi Mintim. And when I stood on the soils of Kwesi Mintim, I said, this is where I'll end my campaign. And by the gods of the land, the spirit of Kwame Nkrumah, and the Most High God, we will win Kwesi Mintim. We won Kwesi Mintim. When I got to Dwami Kwabenya at the campaign rally, I invoked all the gods of Dwami Kwabenya. And I said that if this is a Ghana that Kwame Nkrumah died for, of which Napo and the MPP have insulted and thrown to the dogs, the spirit of Kwame Nkrumah should rise again. And the Most High God should give us victory. We won Dwami Kwabenya. And so, almost 98 to 99, virtually all the constituencies I visited, including the swing ones, we won in those constituencies.
Did you visit Hohoe?
I was in Nantong. I visited Hohoe briefly. I went to Hohoe for a communication workshop, and then I visited there a day before the campaign launch again. We won Hohoe. I was in Nantong to campaign for Dr. Khaled. We won Nantong. I went to Yendi. You saw my video in Yendi where I responded to Napo's comments that Yana was, if a Dagomba should vote for NDC, it's haram. I responded to him in Yendi, and I invoked all the ancestors.
These are Muslims?
The Muslims, yes. I invoked all the ancestors of Yendi. And I said that if this is truly the soils of Yendi I'm standing on, by the grace of Allah, we will win Yendi. What has happened to Yendi? We have won Yendi. And so I can count the constituencies, the orphan, Sisala East, we've spoken about it again. We won Sisala East. All the, in the Ashanti region, Adansia Krofrom, I was there, and I told the people that I have come here to invoke the spirits of Adansia Krofrom. They should rise up and give victory to a truthful party. By the power of the Almighty God, we're going to win Adansia Krofrom. We won it. Azuma is the MP of Adansia Krofrom. And I can count the constituencies that I visited, and I give you the data. Data will speak for itself. All these places I'm counting are constituencies I visited. And when I got there, I said, Inshallah, Esler's constituency, Ablekuma West, right?
Yes.
I was there.
You visited there too?
Yes, I stood on
to campaign for Reverend Ado?
Yes, I stood there and I told Reverend Ado, I said, Reverend, on the 7th of December, when we finish voting, by the 8th, you are a pastor, you go into your room and leave us. And I told them, I said, when we hear ke, we will do keke. When we hear keke, we will do kekeke. When we hear kekeke, we will do krrr. Many people ask me what that.
Do that again.
I said, I told the MPP that in Reverend Ado, I said on 7th December, if we hear ke, we will do keke. If we hear keke, we will do kekeke. If we hear kekeke, we will do krrr. At 2 p.m. on 7th December, we issued the first command and we said activate all body cameras. Nobody understood what that meant. Then at 4 p.m., I gave my command and I said, move 20 meters close, cock and hold. Nobody understood what that meant. We were using our own formula and then we won. I told Reverend Ado Eslo who was going to fall and she fell. And Reverend Ado, he couldn't believe the results himself when he saw what had transpired there. And I went to Henry Cote's place.
Ayawaso Central.
Ayawaso Central.
There was a dispute that night at the Relation Center.
Yes, I went
because
there.
Because the NDC candidate said that he had won.
Yes, and he won. I went there.
But ultimately there was a...
We won. I went there on the day before the election. And I said, if I'm truly... I went to Newtown. I said, if I'm standing on the soils of Newtown, by the grace of the Almighty God, and by the spirit and power of John Dramani Mahama, this seat will become green. And it became green. I went to Baba Sadiq. Baba Sadiq final campaign rally.
Central.
I was there. And I told Baba Sadiq, and I told the people that this is the soils of the chief imam. I know where the chief imam hearts belong. And I know chief imam will stand for the truth. If indeed that is it, by the power of God, this seat will be turned green. And it was turned green. You know, so. So I can count the constituencies one by one. It saddens my heart that I couldn't visit all constituencies. We couldn't go everywhere.
Did you go to any part in the Oti region?
No.
But you went to Hohoe?
I went to Hohoe. In the Volta region, I had done programs before the campaign.
Across?
Absolutely. Okay. Commenced. But many other places, I could go around. The Bono East region, for example, I was in Techima South and went to the magazine and all of that. And we said Techima South will turn green. It turned green, Techima South. It was green. And a few places that belonged to the MPP. Salga North, I was there. I went around the villages and I said, if this is the soils of Ndewura Jakpa, then let the Jakpa staff speak for us.
And we also went to, you know, you follow Community Manifesto.
Absolutely. You did a lot.
Yes, TV3.
You went around. I commend you.
And you know, we were boycotted by the MPP. Ultimately, they came back.
For you are supposed to be celebrated. You were attacked. They called you all sorts of names. At the point they were calling you NDC communication officer. I heard all of that. They said TV3, they named all of you, Johnny and the rest. They will line your pictures and insult you from morning till night. You are sitting here in suit, right? Are they in power again? They are leaving power. That's what God does. And so, you see, the advice to all of us is stay humble. Respect the Ghanaian people. Respect everyone. If Roland speaks the truth, it doesn't mean you should insult Roland. If Andani speaks the truth, it doesn't mean you should insult Andani. If anyone speaks the truth, it doesn't mean you should insult the person. Just appreciate criticism, work on it, and you move forward. But if people speak the truth, what has Roland Walker done? You insult Roland Walker from morning till night. Today, you are out of office. Come and insult Roland Walker again.
The way you have a lot of young people following you, you should contest for the youth organizer position of the party come 2 years' time.
My interest now is not in what somebody should contest for or not. The biggest headache on my mind now is how we are going to deliver on our promises. That is the headache on my mind. Whoever takes over after John Mahama, whoever does this, it's entirely premature ejaculation. You don't ejaculate when you've not gotten to your destination. We must do things step by step. The first task ahead of us is to deliver on our mandate. That is my headache now. I woke up this morning, and before I left the house, I held my head and I said, we have a lot of things to do. I was recollecting a lot of things we said, and I said, we got to achieve it. because we've got to stay in power forever. And by staying in power forever, we need to achieve and, deliver on our mandate. That is my headache, and that is what I'm thinking about. So if I hear people say, after John Mahama, who next? After John Mahama, let's think about John Mahama now. Let's help President Mahama succeed. Let's work for him. Let's work tirelessly for him. Let's stand for him. And if he achieves, if President Mahama achieves, even if we go and bring, excuse me, to say a spoon, after President Mahama, the people will vote for the spoon. But if you don't let President Mahama achieve, if you don't support John Mahama to deliver, and then you are thinking of who takes over after John Mahama, or who becomes what in the next national election, or who becomes this, people will call me, Malik, you have to start preparing for this. You have to go here. I said, that is what you are thinking about. And that is not what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking of how we can support the old man. I'm thinking of how we can support President succeed and deliver on his mandate. I'm thinking of how we can make Ghanaian youth proud of us. I'm thinking of how Ghanaian youth could get jobs and everybody could be satisfied. That is what I wake up in the morning to think about.
Right. Now, going by all that you've enumerated, it means that there's a whole lot of responsibility on your shoulders.
Absolutely. To whom much is given, much is expected.
And then the young people are counting on you.
That's right.
Okay. Are you thinking of only success or failures as well? Where success comes, fine. Where failures come, how do you intend managing it?
Depends on how the failure looks like. If...
Let's say the promises to young people are not able to be actualized like the intentions were.
Why? Why can't they be actualized? What is stopping us? You have gold, you have cocoa, you have oil. Young people say, all we need are jobs. Why can't you give them jobs? Tell me. 1.8 million young people are seated in the house. They say they want jobs. Nursing trainees say posters. You can't post them. What explanation are you going to give to them? So there are some failures that, like what the MPP was doing, they'll come and be explaining Russia and Ukraine. At least Russia and Ukraine will also rest. Because people have been, they name Russia and Ukraine, even the Russia and Ukraine were tied. COVID-19 as an excuse, no. Give them jobs. So give them jobs. The young nurses say, we want to be posted, post them. The young teachers say, we want to be posted, post them. If there's any reason why you cannot post them, it should be because there are not enough hospitals or enough schools. And President Mahama says we'll complete all the abandoned projects and post them. So what excuse do you have? And so I don't know what excuse to what failure you are talking about. But what I know in my mind is that President Mahama will deliver on his mandate. And we all will support him deliver on that mandate because we want to leave a firm legacy. And we think that he should be the best president ever in the history of this country at the end of his tenure. That's what we are supposed to do. And we'll definitely deliver on that mandate. And you see, Roland, for example, 10% bed tax. The boys say scrap it. If you are unable to scrap it within 4 years, I will personally lead the boys to vote against NDC. Yes. If we don't, again. I am saying that the boys say scrap the 10% bed tax. If we are unable to scrap it, I will lead the boys to vote against NDC. There's no excuse. How are we going to explain to them? So if what the people demanded, if you don't do it, you should come yourself and raise your hands and say, vote me out. As simple as that. That is what we thought the MPP would have done. They should have just come. Look, $1 million per constituency, we couldn't deliver, vote us out. One district, one factory, we couldn't deliver, vote us out. One district, one warehouse, we couldn't deliver, vote us out. We thought the MPP was going to do that. They should come and say, vote us out, because we couldn't deliver. So if 10% bed tax, we couldn't scrap it, we'll come and say, we couldn't deliver, we are sorry, vote us out. As simple as that. There's no turning back. There's no explanation to this. There's no justification. There's no excuse to it. As simple as that.
I have a couple of messages. I'll go through them, and then you respond to them. And then we'll go back to the incidents that have happened.
That's right.
We'll go to Utu Senyais and all that.
Yes.
This one is coming from Chairman Francois, who says that it's not only the youth that you appeal to. I'm a great admirer as well. And he's also a middle-aged person. Okay. And then also, we have a lot more people who say that they would want you to contest various positions. You are saying that it is not the time, right? It is not the time. They want you to.
It's highly premature ejaculation.
Premature ejaculation. Okay. All right. Then I have a couple more. So let me just also go through. This one is coming from Emmanuel. Emmanuel says, please tell Basintale that he has won the soul and mind of many of us. He should keep up the good work. Zero tolerance for mediocrity. And this one also is coming from Oseboating from Ishai. So he says that, ask Malik this question. All the politicians start this way and then they don't end up fulfilling all the promises. So he said I should ask you, do you know that not all promises are redeemable? Some could be redeemed and not others.
Who said that?
Oseboating from Ishai.
We have 4 years. We'll judge after 4 years. We have the first 4 years. Ask me the same question after 4 years.
All right. But you know that not all manifesto promises are redeemable in 4 years.
Ask me this question after 4 years.
All right. Okay. So, E-levy is already scrapped. Give it a try and see. Okay. At what point in time do you think that we need to take a quick look at the free SHS in terms of the 120-day implementation promises because it's an integral part of the discussion we're having.
100%.
Yeah.
And so that also brings to bear some of the lies and propaganda that was spread by the MPP. You see, Roland, free SHS, now we'll see whether we'll scrap it or not. Is that not the case? And that is why I say the MPP will stay in opposition forever. The reason why I say that is because you lied to the Ghanaian people that the NDC will scrap free SHS. So at the end of 4 years, if we don't scrap free SHS, it means Ghanaians will know that you are a bunch of liars. You lied to Ghanaians that when the NDC comes, we will scrap a lot of things and even, said so many things. Roland, as soon as possible, we've got to delve into the discussion around free SHS. It is bad. It is bizarre. Students going to school in 3 shifts. That's wrong. They serve students with food and you don't even know whether this is food for human beings or, excuse me to say, food for animals. It is wrong. President Mahama says it touches his heart. He bleeds anytime he sees some of these foods. Look, the last time they showed a video of granola soup, I couldn't tell whether it was granola soup or it was kuka soup or it was ayoyo soup. You can't tell what it is. Make something and give to students to eat, all in the name of free SHS. So President Mahama is saying that we'll hold a stakeholder dialogue, we will sit down, we'll look around the table, and we will make free SHS better for all of us. It is sad that our wards go to school to eat, very terrible foods. So President Mahama says we'll decentralize it. Headmasters will now be in charge of the feeding. My mother is a matron. And my mother used to tell me that, look, the best solution is to decentralize the feeding system. Let the headmasters take charge. The headmasters will feed them properly. At the time we were in senior high school, headmasters were in charge. We used to eat well. I remember I used not to miss dining hall because, Roland, when you go to dining hall, the food you see there, you will be pleased. These days, ask the students the food they eat in the dining halls. It's terrible. All because the headmaster sits down and people bring him what he should use to cook for the students. Whether it's enough or not, nobody cares. And it's been wrong in our institutions. And so we decentralize it. People will get good food again. The 3-shift system will be squashed. All the students will go to school at once, and free SHS will be made better for all Ghanaian people to enjoy. So that after 4 years, Ghanaians will just see that Baumia and Nanado were terrible liars. Napo was a terrible liar when he said free SHS was going to be scrapped by the NDC. Everybody will see, everybody will know in the face of it. And all headmasters will be called, CHAS will be called. We'll discuss with them on the way forward, and we'll take pragmatic steps in addressing all these issues. Once that is done, I think that we'll all be on the same page and the country will move in the right direction. The restoration of the teacher trainee and nursing trainee allowance is also one that we're going to discuss around. It's something President Mahama says he will never scrap. He will even make it better for all persons whose salaries whose allowance were put on hold. And we are going to ensure the automatic payment of that allowance. And to add on to it, once you complete school, you'd be directly posted to go and start work. I think if these things are done, everybody would appreciate this country. Look, nobody expects government to go beyond the roof to do so much. Nobody.
But they should do the little things.
But do the little things. Do the basic things. Meet us halfway. Let us feel we have a government ahead of us. Let us feel there's someone in charge. We don't want to wake up in the morning and today dollar is 18 cedi. Tomorrow dollar is 20. Tomorrow next dollar is 16. Everybody knows you are not in charge. But if you wake up and there can be a stable dollar for businessmen to draw their budgets with that dollar, they know that for this year, the dollar will run at this. I think everybody will be able to balance its weight and will be able to work properly. In 1 week, at a point in time, the dollar skyrocketed from 12 cedi to 16 cedi. How do you come into terms with that? How do you reconcile your accounts? That was terrible for us. And that is why John Mahama says he will ensure that we have a very stable economy, we have a stable dollar, so I could plan, you could plan, and everybody could plan. I mean, his things.
We're on the messages, and so that's why I'm asking. This one is coming from Chairman Kwesi Taylor, who says that I'm proud of this young man, well outspoken. He's made the youth of this country very proud. I call him the youth president. Is it they call you that? Have you heard that also?
Yeah,
okay. My wife says she's going to sit.
But I don't think we can have two presidents.
Okay, then Chairman Kwesi Taylor also says lawyer Maurice Ampao should have by now moved to Togo. Did he say he'll go out of this country? Is there an insert where he said he'll go out of this country? Or you didn't monitor?
Lawyer Maurice Ampao needs to account.
Julius Agawa said, let me use this opportunity to congratulate my party and salute the Basintale boy. That's Julius Agawa Tahiru. All right. So we have many other messages. And we also have landlord Borga D line. I saw two blind men fighting today, and I said I support the one with knife. Both of them ran away. Did you say that?
No, I didn't say that.
I saw.
He's only quoting something.
Okay.
Not mine quotes.
Okay, so I have more of the messages in here, but Kafu Yaudo says, look at this. Let them stop lying. Or is there a different tax? E-levy is not taxed. Okay, has not been scrapped. So. Kafu Yaudo giving me.
Who said it to be scrapped? It has been scrapped.
I think there was some.
Somebody commented.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, this one is coming from Mandy. He says, tell Malik Basintale that I admire his charisma. He should keep it up. I would want to marry him. Are you do you intend marrying soon?
You see,
do you intend marrying
Roland,
soon? It's a question.
All this, I want to marry him soon. I want to do this soon. I want to
Are you
do
married?
That. I go on status and I read a lot of messages. And you find people on TikTok and Twitter and the rest post my picture. I go on TikTok and you see somebody has said, the Basintale lady. Somebody say, Mrs. Basintale. Somebody says, what Basintale? Please, I am taken. Leave me in peace.
I'm taken. Leave me in peace. Okay, so I have this one also from the MPP Amasaman Communication Officer, Opemu Woyome. It says, Basintale shouldn't get overly excited as though there was a wind of change or that the NDC actually worked for the victory. In fact, the statistics in just ended election shows that John Mahama got only about 100,000 votes plus on the 2020 figures. What this shows is that people who traditionally voted for the MPP decided not to turn up to vote. How do you react to this?
People who voted in 2020 decided not to turn up to vote. But that still gives us a victory, isn't it? That still gives us a victory. Have they gone through the data to see the number of people who voted in 2020 that didn't vote in this election? We defeated you by 1.6 million votes plus. And you think we did so because 1.6 million people refused to turn out to vote? It doesn't add on. We still defeated you with 6 million. In 2020, you won with about 6 million. And we've still done more than that. So how there was a decline in voting? I mean, what happened this year was that a lot of the polling stations were splitted. So there are people who didn't see long queues going to vote. Yeah. So they felt that many people didn't turn up to vote. Well, but it wasn't so.
People didn't turn up averagely.
See, the truth of the matter is that
50.1.
In my polling station, those days you find a long queue. But it was splitted into B, C now. And so we had A, B, C. So the number of people who would have been in the line had been splitted into 3. And the polling station number that was about 700 was now reduced to 200. So obviously you won't find many people in the queue going to vote. And that was what caused, this. But in their strong roads, in their strong areas and strongholds where there was apathy, it was simply because of their incompetence. So why should my victory be attributed? Of course, we were campaigning to come into power because we said you are incompetent. And if your own people felt you were incompetent and by so doing, they refused to come out and vote, that is your problem. And that is not my problem. You understand? It's all part of the victory. And so whatever it looks like, however it is, the fact remains that, one, President Mahama will be the first president to be sworn into office the third time as president. Two, President Mahama is the first president to leave office in Ghana and come back and win again as president. Three, President Mahama is the first president to have won with a margin of 1.6 million in this country. Four, Bawumia is the first president to have had the terrible loss, the most terrible loss in the history of our Fourth Republic. And so those facts will stay. And five, President Mahama will also be the president who will take us to the promised land, who will transform the economy and lead us to our required destination. As simple as that.
Obviously, you're very much overwhelmed with a lot of accolades that you tend to get, right? Or you're just used to it now?
Oh, I've told you already that it's not about the accolades. A lot of people think that, okay, Malik Basintale got a lot of praises because of his Malik Basintale. No, I got a lot of praises because I followed this man, John Dramani Mahama. I haven't achieved anything. All what I was speaking about were the achievements of John Mahama. And if people love me today, they love me because I spoke properly about the achievements of John Mahama. So the credit is not to me. The credit is to John Dramani Mahama. He's the achiever. He's the man who had a good track record. He's the man who delivered for this country, not Malik Basintale. So all these accolades I get is kind courtesy the nation builder John Dramani Mahama. And I'm proud that I follow him as a son. I'm proud he's my boss. And I'm proud that I'm going to follow him until the end of time.
All right. And then this one is coming from Celestine. Celestine, I should ask you, how do you feel about having the first female vice president? Very
proud. Oh, sorry, it's another record I didn't add when I was counting our records. It's another one. Very proud that at least President Mahama has demonstrated that he admires, the female gender, and he thinks that women must be given that opportunity to rise. We must break the ceiling. And Professor Nana Jane made a point. She said she's not here to just pass through the door. She's here to open the door and hold it open for all other women to pass through. I mean, at her age, why would she want to pass through the door and then leave the door shuttered and go? No. She wants to hold it for young girls to pass through and then break the ceiling so that we could have a female president in this country. We could have people of higher lead higher institutions. That's the example President Mahama wanted to set. He set many examples in the past using women, and he thought that it was time to make a woman his running mate. For example, in the price of sanitary pad, we promised to reduce the price of sanitary pad. Between Prof. Jane and President Mahama, who understands the issues around sanitary pad? Obviously, Professor Nana Jane. And so she knows what women go through every month. Whether you like it or not, as a woman, you must cough out money to buy sanitary pad. Me, I can go 1 month eating food and not buying anything. But whether you like it or not, as a woman, you must buy sanitary pad. It is not your doing. It is your creation. It is what God gave to you. So why should a woman cough out about 30 CD, 35 CD to buy something that she didn't impose on herself? Something that God imposed on her. She has to suffer to cough out money just to buy sanitary pad. And that is why Prof. Jane said when she comes, all the prices of sanitary pad will be reduced, and the students, female students, the girl child, will get sanitary pad for free at their tertiary institutions. The Women's Bank. We know what happens in these savings and loans, where sometimes they come and throw stones at your roofing sheets. You know it. They throw stones in the night, they attack market women. Prof. Jane says we'll bring a women's bank. The manager will be a woman. The security people will be women, the cleaners women, the cashiers women, the tellers women. Everything about the bank will be women. And that bank will give loans to women. So women could also, start their businesses and could also help transform the fortunes of this economy. And so there was a main reason why we brought a woman on board. And I know in my heart that the women will never fail us in this country. President Mahama will not fail us, and a woman like Professor Nana Jane will not also fail the people of this country.
Okay, so we'll introduce you to the video of the incident that happened in Owutu Senya.
That's right.
Is it Owutu Senya East or West?
Owutu Senya West.
West, okay.
Yesterday, we were having a meeting with the police commander, and somebody called me from Small London, where the Agenda 1 is being built. He said, there are 2 cars parking the iron rods from the site. So, right there, I told the commander, they said they are parking the iron rods out of the site. So, what can we do? The commander told me, let's get them arrested. I was like, how? You are the commander, you are telling me you should get them arrested. How can I do such thing? So later I sent somebody to go and check. When they said the people had already gone. Okay. Just this evening, somebody called me that, Charlie, there's another truck parking materials from the site. Truck, iron rod. I said, no, you should make sure they bring them to the police station. So they brought them to the police station. You see, that is the main reason why we went to lock the assembly stores last Sunday. Because we have 1,000 bags of fertilizers in that store. And if care is not taken, these people will steal them. Because I have videos of some of the MPP constituency executives looting those fertilizers. And then some of your media guys are misreporting, telling us we are going to lock assembly offices and all that. It's not true. We are doing this to protect the interests of the constituency. We are not doing this for NDC. We are not doing this for John Mahama or Gisela. We are doing this for Mother Ghana.
So these people you've arrested today, have they admitted to the fact that they were actually stealing the material?
No, we're trying to question them as to who sent them. They are not ready to tell who sent them. Okay. Yeah, so they said they have called the contractor to come. So we are here waiting for the contractor to come to see whether it is the contractor who asked them to come and pack our taxpayers, things bought with our taxpayers' money. I also called the police commander, and he said it is not right for the contractor to send the items from here to Tema. And you see, when they were selling this, and they were attributing them to NDC.
X.
But Malik, this is the issue. And the question I asked was, why do we have young people of the NDC going there?
So
in this instant case?
So clearly, this is a clear demonstration that a lot of the thugs who are storming offices and attacking offices are MPP persons. This is a clear example. The guy speaking is the communication officer of the NDC in the Owutu Senya West. He's called Cassius. He's the communication officer of the NDC. And he says that when they saw people, stealing and looting from the Agenda 111, they decided to go to the police commander. And the commander asked them to go and arrest the boys. And he said, we are not security men. And the commander sat there. But being a patriotic citizen, he thought that we ought to initiate a civilian arrest. And that was how come he went there to arrest them. Yet, you had MPP persons on social media say it was NDC tax and all of that. How can an NDC communication officer go and arrest NDC tax again? How is that possible? And so, we are telling the Ghanaian people that the MPP is still on rampage. They have decided to initiate last-minute tactics to just loot finally from the state before leaving office. We know the kicks of a dying horse are usually hard, and that is what they are exhibiting now. But the security agencies, the police, everybody, President Mahama has asked that they stop everybody storming or rampaging any office. A lot of them are MPP boys, including those this morning I went to trace at the Tema port. They were MPP, militias, who had decided to go and ransack their own offices so they could loot in the name of being NDC people. But we will stop them and will prove to the entire country that NDC is a peaceful party. NDC is a party that came for the people of this country. And isn't it surprising that immediately this issue started, we had MPP people go on social media. You've seen the party you voted for. You've seen the party you voted for. Because they have a plan. And the plan is that they will let their boys cause mayhem. And then they'll quickly attribute it to the NDC. But we would fight against that and we'll stop it. And that's how come Cassius, together with his men, arrested those boys. And they handed over to the police. So 21 gun salutes. And would continue to arrest a lot of the MPP guys who have decided to storm offices. Yesterday, some MPP guys stormed Ghana Gas. 2 days ago, some MPP guys stormed Bost. And they have decided to start attacking their own leaders.
Ghana Gas were no NDC?
We don't know any of them. They're not. The NDC boys rather went there later to stop those boys from attacking Ghana Gas. Because you see, Roland, whether you like it or not, we are in power. We'll be sworn in on the 7th of January.
You are not in power.
Yeah, so let me say, we've won an election. We'll be in power after the 7th of January. If we cannot fight the state that have been bestowed onto us, we can't do that. The country has been put in our hands. How do we go attacking state agencies again when we now own all those state agencies and we're going to be a government in power after the 7th of January? And so clearly you realize that these are last-minute tactics by the MPP to ransack their own offices, and a lot of them are even doing so to hide documents. I'm told in the coming days some are even attempting to set.
Malik, are you sure?
I'm telling you that I've been told, and I'm going to report that to the police, that some of the MPP guys have said they will deliberately set some of the offices on fire so that we lose documents and we cannot find the documents and we can't trace a lot of them. There are things the MPP guys want to do. We will stop them because we need the documents to prosecute and hold their leaders accountable. And anybody who is found storming any office or ransacking any office will be picked up by the police or by we, the NDC people. We'll arrest the people and we'll hand them over to the police because the NDC is a peaceful party and all our boys are doing everything within the remits of the law.
So the question is, why don't you let the police why don't you call the police for them to go to those institutions and restore order?
If you listen to the Utu Senya West guy, he said he was even before the commander. Didn't you hear that? And he said he told the commander that, Roland, he said, Commander, go and arrest the boys. And the commander said, you to go and arrest them. We don't know what's happening, but we are urging the police service to maintain law and order. Mr. Akufo-Addo and Bawumia, you are still at the helm of affairs. Please ensure we have law and order. Don't leave a lawless country for us. Please, Mr. Akufo-Addo and Bawumia, your days are numbered. You are out of office. You will finally pack your things out on the 7th of January. Don't lead us into a lawless country before you hand over to President Mahama. Hand over a peaceful country to us. The NDC is peaceful. Our young men and women who are vigilant at the polling stations are peaceful. The Ashaman boys, the Nima boys and whatever are all peaceful, and we are law-abiding citizens and we stand by them. Those causing havoc are MPP people, and we are calling the IGP to intervene and take charge of the country.
You called the president, Mr. Akufo-Addo, President Akufo-Addo. Is that okay?
Oh, it's the same thing. President Mr. is the same. It's not an attempt to undermine him. He's an or virtually soon to leave office President Akufo-Addo.
Lawyer Christian Hesse, regular on our channel, he says citizen arrest is lawful.
It's lawful, 100% lawful.
It's just by way of...
it's 100% lawful.
Very interesting. I have this one from Kizito. Okay, good morning to you, Kizito. He says, I know Malik will not be swollen-headed with all the accolades being attributed to him, but will stay focused and help the party stay in power. And Kizito Tema. Okay. And then also... Mensa Asumeni Michael, Bodu Mensa Asumeni, good morning to you, Michael. He says that please tell Malik that in 2016, Abronya DC also stormed with a task force.
Yes.
And he was, we saw them chasing people who were in government, even from their homes and harassing them.
Yes.
So you're saying that they retaliate? I don't understand.
Abronya, so that's the point I'm making. I'm saying that the same tax Abronya and Co used in 2016 are the same tax they are using now again to cause havoc. In 2016, they beat a pregnant judge. They dragged her out of her office and stepped on the stomach. The woman had a miscarriage. They are doing the same thing again. The same MPP tax are in town causing havoc again. And so Abronye, also Bempine, all those people who use those people to cause tax, please stop and desist from that. Or else we will come and would initiate a citizen arrest and will hand you over to the police.
Okay, why don't you stand for parliament? Uncle Taff wants to know.
Why don't I go to parliament? There are several ways to deliver to your people of this country. The only way is not to be an MP. I mean, not to say that if you get an opportunity to go to parliament, nobody knows what the future holds. Okay. But like I said, my first aim is for me to assist John Dramani Mahama, President-elect, to deliver on his mandate. That is my next step.
Simplicity.
Any other question aside, what we will do to help the people of this country is a non-starter, and I don't want to engage in premature ejaculation.
I see. Okay, so this one is coming from Gifty Enyonam Fiamo Maye with the Keta Government Hospital. He says that, tell Malik, he is our mini God on earth. We really admire him and love him.
Hey.
When will you get married?
I don't know.
He said I should ask you, when will you get married?
You should bring me 10 wives. I'll marry all of them for him.
that certainly will be in jest.
You should bring me 10 wives. I'll marry all of them for him.
Malik Basintale. Okay, so we have to come to the conclusion of our discussion, but if there are 3 things that you're hoping that John Mahama Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman administration will achieve at the end of the 4-year term, what would it be? 3 top.
3 top would achieve. One,
or you will expect them to tackle.
One, a 24-hour economy that will create sustainable jobs for
those who want
for the people of this country who want to enroll in it. 2, the National Women's Bank that we want people to enroll in. And 3, the National Apprenticeship Program.
Okay.
If I could add, I feel like adding 2. 4, the free medical primary health care should be achieved. 2. And 5, the no-fee stress, free tertiary education fees
for university
students. Let me go on, please. There are many I want us to achieve. 6, the cancellation of the 10% bed tax. 7, the cancellation of e-levy. 8, the institution of a pension scheme for GPRTU drivers. 9, the creation of a mining refinery in mining communities. 10, the creation of a cocoa refinery in cocoa growing communities. 11, the completion of all abandoned hospitals. 12, the completion of abandoned e-blocks. 13, completion of all roads, abandoned roads. 14, creating an airstrip in Yendi and ensuring that we give the people of Damango and Yendi water. Should I continue? I have a lot to go. I would have just
all in 4 years.
All in 4 years.
Okay, great.
We will do it.
We'll see how that goes.
Power of God. We will
all
do
right.
it. 15 to appoint 16 ministers. 16 to run the leanest government, of course, that's to appoint 16 ministers. 17, the 120-day social contract, that is to appoint all his cabinet ministers within 120 days. 18 is to ensure that 1 million people are trained in the coders program, so we could get a lot of people in IT. 19, I can go on and on. The promise in 19 is to regularize Okada in this country. 20 is to ensure that all government workers could get a free loan to take a car or to get a free housing scheme where government workers will build houses for you and will be deducting from your salary. 21 is to ensure that your pensions, you can take it after half month.
Malik.
I can go on and
Elliot
on. When you have a nation builder as a president, you don't struggle to bring out policies of his. But ask the MPP, MPP their policy. Those say
Elliot Wogbe says good morning to you and that you guys work together on many fronts.
Thank you.
And then Hamza says, tell my brother Basintale I salute him, but you should look for me small. That's Alhaji Hamza.
It's not easy.
And Dr. Makafui Tavia of the KNUST, good morning to you. You're watching, and he says, well, it's always a delight to watch the interviews and the way you ask the question and push the guest to speak even if he doesn't want to. That's a great one. And then Dela Agbenyaga, good morning to you. Please ask him whether they have any plan about the men's gold. Dela Agbenyaga, do you have the money men's gold? I'm not too sure. But there are some seats that are yet to be fully declared. They are also in contention. Techiman South also in contention.
They've declared Techiman South.
But it's in contention.
But they've declared. If you don't understand, go to court.
That's the position of the NDC?
Yes, go to court. If you don't understand, go to court. As simple as that. The MPP are high believers in the court system. 2016.
So they should go to the court.
In 2016, they should go to court. 2027, should go to court and went to court. If they don't understand, they should go to court.
I see.
Simple as that.
I see.
Our big brother Jube is laughing.
Okay.
They should go to court.
Okay. Bruce Foucault says the NDC left the northern part of Ghana underdeveloped and rather concentrated much at the south. Our roads are very bad at Upper West, for example. He says that you need to advocate for development in northern Ghana.
So that's one of the examples of the corruption I was talking about. Chinia took the contract. The road is talking about the road Sasala East. Chinia took the contract. And you know what he did with the contract? He awarded it to his own brother. The company is called Batu Awese. His brother and his driver are the directors of the company. And he gave the contract to them. They collected mobilization, 30%, and squandered the money and refused to construct the road. So as it stands now, the contract is in the name of his company, Batu Awese. And you know the meaning of Batu Awese? You are not God, so keep quiet. That's the meaning of the company. Yes, Batu Awese. So such people, if we don't retrieve all the stolen cash, we can't construct the road for them. So we retrieve the money from Chinia, put him in bus, and then construct the road for them.
Alhaji Capson has also sent a message as well, and all of you who have sent a message is Nazar Mustafa and all that. And this one is on. You went to one. Which do you remember this community? I think it was in the Secretary area.
Yeah, this is BBNA. We want BBNA.
Yeah, BBNA.
So I was counting the areas I attended. This was BBNA area, so I stormed there with the gang. These are the gang boys.
You have a gang?
Yeah, gang, I mean the men.
Yeah,
the boys.
The riders.
The riders.
So do you take them from one or you tell them you are coming, so they should make their riders?
In every constituency, I have stations. And in every constituency, we have the gang. These were the BBNA gang, so they led me into it, and we got there. When I went to Ahanta West, I went there to a final campaign rally. The gang met me, we rode there, and we won the seat. Amasaman, you saw my ride. You saw my ride in Amasaman.
You're sure that they all have helmets and drive safely?
Yeah, you see, the point is that we advocate that they should all use helmets. Sometimes
they are community riders.
They absolutely. Sometimes you are riding a short distance. They don't jack up fully. But in the future, we would ensure that everybody should use a helmet. And
would it become a mainstay of your campaign activities?
Yeah, we could find a way through the National Road Safety to go around again. And in regularizing Okada, definitely the road safety will be in charge.
I see.
And then we'll go around and educate them.
Dr. Carl Domino, who is in Charlotte, United States of America. North Carolina is right here in Ghana, came to monitor and watch things the election, says that you're a very interesting man, and says something I can say. Tell Malik, say he up. And then Lawrence Adoboy also says, I sincerely commend all of you right here at TV3 for the start of the 24-hour 3-shift, please. This one, it's an election program. We already do 24 hours. Don't follow Malik. Already do. That's how come we're a 24-hour news channel and an entertainment channel as well. So we do everything combined. It's a general.
At 1 a.m. Dr. Makpo was here speaking.
Yes.
That's 24 hours.
But please ask Basintale what his government will do to help sustain this beautiful work you have started.
That's the 24-hour comment. Of course, we'll give you low electricity tariffs through the time of use tariffs. We'll reduce your taxes you've been paying. And we'll ensure you get security in this company.
Okay.
Yes.
You are not a Boku person, right? Did you go to Boku as well? No.
I campaigned in Boku. Yes, I went to. So this is what happened. During the heat of the wars, when bullets were flying, a lot of people were scared to go there. But I went there, I visited Zebela. We won Zebela. I visited Binduri. We collected Binduri back. I went to Tempani. We won Tempani. I went to Garu. We won Garu. As late as 8 p.m. we were campaigning in Garu when bullets were flying. But we won the places by the grace of God. I went to Navrongo. We won Navrongo. I went to Paga, Chana Paga. We retained Chana Paga. Bolga East, Bolga Central. We retained all of them. Agalges Place, Bulsa North. We retained it.
George Adongo says that, do you know that it is against the law to be dressing like a soldier when you're not? Why did you dress in a military fatigue the other day?
Do you have people in your church who wear the military regalia as ushers? No. I mean, churches have them. We call them. There are some of God have a
I don't go to Salvation.
Salvation Army.
I don't. But I don't go to.
Yes, but even the Assemblies of God, we have this.
The guild and all.
Yes, they are the ushers. Yes, I've forgotten how they call them. They usher people.
No, but
the Rangers.
But you're a political figure. You shouldn't be.
So I'm saying that the Rangers.
It's against the law.
Hold on, the Rangers dress that way.
Malik is against the law.
What's against the law?
You shouldn't dress in military fatigues.
What is termed as military fatigue? The green color means military.
It's a military.
Do you know my party is a green party? Do you know that?
You this guy. Okay, so we have Ruben. Ruben says, tell Malik to invest the same energy on the government to deliver their promises because
100%.
we are counting on him.
100%,
And then
100%.
Mama Wu also says, please, how far about the Efutu constituency chairman has he been found?
Yeah, we are still on it. We are on the Efutu. We are. Everything will be done. How Akumsin's people killed one of our guys in Kaswa, justice will be brought. We won't leave that. I was at a mortuary with the senior Ibrahim Mama Baba to watch the body, and they will visited the families and all that. And so all the injustice that will be meted out on people, this time there will be justice. It won't be like 2020, 2016. Even the people who died in 2020, it is time for justice. The people who died during Ayawaso West Wagon, it's time for justice. And that is why I'm saying that many people will be held accountable. And that was the reason why they didn't want us to come. People who were swearing oracles and testicles and all sorts of things that were not going to come to power, they were doing so because they knew what was at stake for them. Unfortunately, they are not bigger than God. Unfortunately, the Ghanaian people are discerning, and we are in power now. Those people will be held accountable. I've had many calls of people calling to tell me, Malik, you see, as for me, you people have to free me, have mercy. I say, okay, when we get there, we shall cross.
Well, certainly more messages coming in, and this one is coming from Edem Kobi, who says he wants to have your number. Okay, so this one is coming from Evans Dinko Garu. Roland, I want Malik and all the NDC executive to make sure that we safeguard state assets, the fertilizers and machines in the various warehouses. And that, all right. Thank you very much for passing through the studios this morning.
Roland, thank you very much for having me. It's time to get to work. After 7th of January, we'll delve into action. And we're going to take off at flights. Yesterday, I was with the nation builder and the president-elect, John Dramani Mahama, and all he said was, Malik, fasten your seatbelts. Let everyone fasten his seatbelts. We're going to take off in 4 flights. Ghana will never be the same again. Ghana will be transformed. Ghana would be lightened up. Ghana will be beautiful. Ghana will be proud of our country, Ghana. And all the youth of this country, everyone in the diaspora, many people will come back home because the Ghana they always wanted is here. And together, we will build the Ghana we want. And so fasten your seatbelt from the 7th of January when President Mahama is sworn in, together with his landslide 2/3 parliamentarians. Mark my words, will transform this country. And in 4 years' time, Ghanaians will pass a verdict, and that verdict will be for the NDC to stay in power forever.